you have a claim and your insurance company isn't paying, this is actually a direct response to a person on my channel. They said, my insurance is Kemper, and I haven't heard from the adjuster, and an accident occurred in April. It's been months of me calling weekly and leaving messages. I haven't had a car or received any check. Any suggestions on what to do next? So I thought I'd answer this question directly, and I Googled your name just to find out what state you're in, and it looks like you're in California. For them, let's just say Missouri, Florida, California, Michigan, Tennessee, Virginia, all these states that I know very well. I'm not licensed in California, but I'll still tell you what I found. Here's the answer that I found as far as looking up what the process is. So in California, they actually are breaking the law. They're outside of the actual legal way to insure this claim. So if it's covered correctly, if you have the full coverage, which is comprehensive and collision, and if you're an agent watching this, don't slam me in the comments because full coverage is a made-up word. We all know that. We're just going to use this as an example of the collision part. If it's a covered incident, covered claim, they have 15 days to get a sworn statement from you, assess everything, and essentially collect and get you the paperwork that you need to fill out. They have 40 days from then to make a decision and let you know what that decision is, so they're supposed to be in contact with you. This is the California legality from actual lawyers that have researched this. And lastly, they have 30 days to make a payment. Now, if they deny it or they have some issue, they have to, in writing, notify you. So make sure, check with a service person with Kemper and find out if there's an issue with your claim or if there's something that they've sent you or documents that they've sent you that just didn't get to you. Maybe you moved, maybe the address is different, maybe you're on electronic payments and electronic documents and they've electronically sent them to you. Now in California, I think you have to actually do it in writing, so I believe you should have gotten something from them if there's an issue. That's the first step I would take, is find out if there's an issue, especially if you can't get a hold of a claims adjuster. Then I would call the service line and talk to them to see if there's any documents that went out to you recently. Here's the thing. Kemper is the worst rated company for insurance claims, and I can back that up. If you Google them and you look at J.D. Power, that's the company that rates all of these companies, in 2022, Kemper is literally the last rated, the least likely, least favored company to file a claim correctly. It's not to say they never will, they just aren't good. People have a bad satisfaction with Kemper. There's a reason for that. You're paying the low dollar cost. I'm trying to buy a flight to Florida for a vacation, and I'm looking at what's called Frontier or Allegiant Air because I've got a family of 5 and it's cheaper to go through them. But I know that the seats are cheaper. I know that I can't bring a carry-on unless it's like $75 to bring on. So there's all of these cutout things that they do. And without diving into their company and actually telling you, but it feels like Kemper's doing the same thing. They've cut out a lot of the service. They're probably overworked. They probably have less help, and they're probably just backed up. That being said, they still have to communicate to you. So they're in breach if everything's correct. If it's a covered incident and the claim is processed, you've filled out your part, you've done a sworn statement, which usually can be done over the phone, and they've filed it away, they've given you notification, and they've passed their 40-day window, and they haven't sent you anything, so check with that. Now they've broken the rule because it's only 85 total days from the day you filed that claim and legally filed it to the day that it was approved, assessed, and processed for you to get that process. So you should already have been paid if it's a covered incident. So we need to find that out first if that's something that can be covered. Now, last part, what to do next. So I probably would just call a lawyer if they don't get in contact with you or if you don't reach out and talk to their supervisor, whoever it is. You can Google Kemper's 1-800 claim department. That's actually because they have so many problems. People have blasted that phone number out everywhere. Or you go straight to your state's website. So if you're Michigan.gov, if you're in Tennessee, I'm sure it's Tennessee.gov or TN.gov, whatever the state's website is, just Google the government's website for insurance in your state. So enter your state. And there's usually a complaint that you can file there, as well as DIFS, Department of Financial Services. They kind of sort of regulate the insurance industry, and people need to know that that's not okay. It doesn't necessarily fix your problem because it's almost like sending a bad review or filing a complaint to show possible fraud. The thing is, Kemper is also hurting financially. So they're essentially falling apart. If you have what's called a standard auto policy with them, then you're likely not being renewed anyways because they're removing all of their business in most states. They're essentially getting rid of what's called the preferred line of business. So if you're a preferred client or in their standard operating business, which is their standard Kemper, they're actually removing that and only doing non-preferred type of business. I did a video on that a few weeks ago, so feel free to go check that out. Hopefully this was helpful. You're probably going to end up with a lawyer. Unfortunately, that might be your only option. So you're going to look for a auto claim lawyer or a personal liability lawyer, and you're going to essentially have to go after Kemper to have them not only just fix it, but now they owe you probably some sort of interest because of the delay and the things that have caused you all of these issues. Once again, start with service. Make sure there wasn't a bad address or a bad file or something that just didn't get to you, because then they have a little bit more of a leg to stand on when they say, oops, it wasn't our fault. She had the wrong information on file, and you would have signed it. You likely signed on the policy to verify that. Go through those steps first. And if they won't get back to you, if the supervisor won't get back with you, then at this point, it's probably time to talk to a lawyer. Hopefully this was helpful. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I'll see you in the next one.